lot of the majority of the audience does not understand Telugu, so I will switch over to English. Shri Ratan Sharda ji, Manya Subhash Chandra Bose ji, Manya Ayush ji, and Sai Prasad ji, and to all my friends in this auditorium. I am very happy that this book has come about, Nizam Unmasked. It is a small book, but then it is a very huge contribution. It has made a huge contribution. Why do I say that? A book of about 100 pages. I call it a seminal work. I call it an important contribution because this kind of literature is needed these days. Let me tell you about how see, Hyderabad liberation is one subject that is a classical example of misinformation campaign. How to obfuscate the truth and how to actually obliterate the truth and peddle untruths as truths. Hyderabad liberation is a classical example of that. There are a lot of fallacies about Hyderabad liberation. If you go to any place in Telangana, they would say Telangana liberation. The common word in Telugu is Telangana liberation. It is a fallacy. This was Hyderabad state that comprised 9 districts of Telangana, 5 districts of Maharashtra and 4 districts of Karnataka. Put together, 18 districts constituted Hyderabad state. And today, we have trisected this chunk of land and a part of it has gone to Maharashtra, a part to Karnataka, and 9 districts are in Telangana. So when you say this is Telangana liberation, that very movement, you are actually reducing half of our history. You are actually obliterating half of your history. This is liberation of Hyderabad state, not Telangana liberation. This is something that needs to be borne in mind because the people of the 18 districts together have fought against the tyranny of Nizam and the oppression of the Razakars. It was a common cause, it was a unified fight of all these 3 religions. But by calling it Telangana liberation, we are actually killing half of our history. The second important thing is, there is a concerted attempt to call the Telangana armed struggle as the Telangana liberation struggle. Telangana armed struggle is different and Telangana liberation struggle is different. Telangana armed struggle was against Nizam, was against the Razakars till September 17, 1948. They fought against the government of India, its military, its people, its governance till 1950. They wanted to liberate Telangana from the clutches of India. This was their language. So Telangana armed struggle is a struggle that was led by the communists and they wanted to separate this whole swathe of Telangana and carve it out into a separate country. Normal freedom fight should have ended on September 17, 1948, the day Hyderabad was liberated. But their struggle continued till 1950 March. So this Telangana armed struggle after September 17, 1948 is not Telangana liberation struggle. This is very important to understand. This difference is very important to understand. So what went on after September 17 is against the country. They fought the Indian military. They fought the government of India, just as they did in Ponnapura Vailar education in Kerala. So these 2 things are very important to remember. Unless we are clear about these things, we will not be able to understand and appreciate the real import of Hyderabad liberation struggle. The second, the more important. After September 17, 1948, there has been a concerted effort to obfuscate the history of Hyderabad's independence struggle, Hyderabad state's independence struggle. And why do I say? I am not going to read from this book. This book is published, this is a 4-volume book on the freedom struggle in Hyderabad, published by the Archives Department of Andhra Pradesh government. Now it is Telangana. These are 4 volumes, each of this size. This talks about Hyderabad's liberation from the clutches of Nizam. In these 4 volumes, there is no mention of Razakars. The word Razakar is missing from the government narrative. The government of undivided Andhra Pradesh in 1971 constituted a committee to write the history of Hyderabad's liberation, and in these 4 volumes there is no mention of the word Razakar. Razakar, you can actually, these books are available in the Archives Department near Osmania University, you can buy them. Such a huge volume, 4 volumes put together, there is no mention of the word Razakar anywhere. And you know who printed this? Who authorized the printing of this book? P.V. Narasimha Rao, our Prime Minister. And P.V. Narasimha Rao himself is a freedom fighter who fought for the liberation of Hyderabad. He fought for his right to wear a dhoti in Osmania University. In 1932, there was an agitation in the B hostel of Osmania University where the Hindu boys were lodged. The Muslims boys had other hostel. The Hindu boys hostel, the students living in the hostelers, the day scholar, the residential students, they demanded, they asked the university authorities that they be permitted to wear dhotis. They were not permitted. Then these students, they chanted Vande Mataram and they have been rusticated. 348 Hindu students were rusticated, and all these students, the Nizam of Hyderabad has sent a circular saying that these boys should not be admitted into any university or any college across the country. The Nagpur University Vice Chancellor threw the notification into a dustbin and gave admission. That's how P.V. Narasimha Rao has completed his studies in Ramte. And the very same P.V. Narasimha Rao wants to obscure the whole the reign of terror and the oppression let loose by the Razakars. So there was a concerted attempt by the Congress rulers after the liberation of Hyderabad to actually obliterate the history, the dark history of the Razakars. Here was a government led by a person who himself was a victim of the Razakars and the oppressive rule of Nizam, and he tried to remove the word Razakar from this whole book. So the author, this was the editor is Sarojini Reghani Garu, one of the very famous historians of Hyderabad. The communists, they also tried to give their tint and color to this history of Hyderabad. Every communist of repute, starting from a mandal level leader to a district level leader, they have written autobiographies. And in their autobiographies, they gave the history of only the Communist Party of India. The contribution of the Arya Samaj, the contribution of Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, the contribution of the Hindu Mahasabha, the contribution of the Congress Party have been obscured in the literature that has been produced by the communists. Then starting from 2000, the Majlis-e-Ittihad al-Muslimin has brought out one book per year on its version of Hyderabad's independence struggle. The name that they gave to the history of Hyderabad that they wrote is Destruction of Hyderabad. Who wrote this? A.G. Nurani, one of the famous legal luminaries. He doesn't live in Hyderabad, but he has written this big book with lot of references and bibliography, so on and so forth. The title of the book is Destruction of Hyderabad. This was released in Hyderabad, and this release was the person who graced the occasion of the book launch was Ramoji Rao, because A.G. Noorani is a columnist of Eenadu. And I'll give you one more example. This book is known as October Coup, written by Muhammad Haider, published by Rowley Books. This Muhammad Haider was the collector of Latur district at the time of the police action. And in his office, Qasim Razvi, the leader of the Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin, used to hold meetings, and he used to provide weapons to the Razakars so that they can attack the nationalist forces in the night. And this man writes his version of the story called October Coup, with a cover having the Hali currency of Nizam. Nizam used to have his own currency, it used to be known as Hali currency. The point I am trying to make is from 2000 onwards, every year one book or the other of this dimension, this size, this many pages has been published by the supporters of Majlis Ittihad al-Muslim. What about the real history? What about the real history? I have a surprise for you. This is the last book written on the fight against the Razakars. It is all of 70 pages or 80 pages, 70 pages roughly. It was written in 1998. We are fortunate that one or two books have come. The Samit Prakashan have come up with the translation of Khanderao Kulkarniji's Liberation Struggle Saga of Hyderabad. This has come last year, and now we have got this book. How can you fight misinformation with this kind of books? Written in Telugu. Whereas the man who wants to obliterate the history of Hyderabad and to carve out and is trying to portray the victim, perpetrated as the victim, is coming out with books of this size in a language that is understood by world over. So it is in this connection I feel that this book written by Shriman Kasireddy Venkatreddy Garu has a very seminal contribution, and I congratulate Samit Prakashan for translating this book. He has actually written 3 booklets. All the 3 booklets were combined and were brought into one book form. There is a great need for actually telling the real history of Hyderabad. Today, unfortunately, the person who has perpetrated atrocities on me is crying horse and is playing victim card. Do you know that the Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin has dug out a document from Nehru Library? It is called Sundarlal Committee Report. This Sundarlal Committee Report claims that 40 to 50,000 Muslims have been massacred after the police action, which is not true. There may be 1 or 2 incidents of reprisals by the oppressed Hindus, but there was no massacre of any kind. But this Sundarlal Committee report he has done. And today he is talking about Sundarlal Committee and he is playing victim card. The Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin, which has, we have living examples of Bairanpalli, Appampalli, Parakala, where the Hindus have been butchered. We have the statues of the people who have died in places like Appampalli. 8 people killed, 15 people killed. Today we have a market named after a martyr in Nizamabad. It is known as Radhakrishna Ganj. There are 2 Ganges. Ganj is a market. There are 2 Ganges in Nizamabad. One is known as Shraddhananda Ganj. The other is known as Radhakrishna Ganj. This Radhakrishna Ganj is named after a person called Radhakrishna Mudani who has come from Rajasthan. There was a ban on performing Homa in public. And this man defied that ban and Razakars have killed him. Murdered him in broad daylight. And the people rebelled against the Nizam and they named their market, chief market, after Radha Krishna Modani. It is known as Radha Krishna Ganj. Who has to tell this story? This story is now getting obscured by each passing day because we have already fallen into a syndrome that Akbar Allahabadi has mentioned about. Akbar Allahabadi has in a very famous quote, he said that, क्या कहे अहबाब कारे नुमाया कर गए. What did we achieve that so that we can showcase to the people? क्या कहे अहबाब कारे नुमाया कर गए, बीए किए, नौकर हुए, पेंशन लिए और मर गए. We have lapsed into this syndrome, whereas the real history is being obfuscated, obscured, and fake histories like this are now ruling the roost. The Sundarlal Committee, for your information, is not an official committee. It was a goodwill mission sent by Jawaharlal Nehru. But who knows this now? Who can counter this propaganda? It is here that books like this, books written by Kasireddy Venkat Reddy Garu, comes into play. I commend the translator Pradakshinaji, though she is not here, and also for to Sri Rahul Shastriji for an immaculately written introduction which spans into some 30 pages and adds value to this book. The time has come for us to rewrite the history of Hyderabad. We have to bring out books like this, books of this kind. Fortunately, we have had one book, Okaniyanta Talavanchina Rodu, written by Bhaskar Yogi Garu last year. Samvit Prakashan has come up with a translation of Khanderao Kulkarniji's personal memoirs. We need to, I have conducted in my own way, I have given 17 video clip stories from September 1 to September 17 last year, and the response I got, I identified about 173 people who have some memories to share about the Nizam's atrocities and Razakar's atrocities. Our own Vishwa Hindu Parishad Karyakarta says that his grandfather was done to death by the Razakar hordes while he was coming back from after praying in the traditional hereditary temple. So a lot of misinformation is being spread about Nizam, and the present government wants to portray Nizam as a benevolent ruler. Before I close, I would like to present to you the national anthem of the Hyderabad state before September 17. Before September 17, we had a different anthem that we used to sing in the schools, colleges, offices, everything. Of course, there was only one college in the whole of Telangana, whole of Hyderabad state of 18 districts, that was Nizam College. There was one school meant for the Jagirdars and Zamindars, that is Hyderabad Public School. One school meant for Muslim girls, that is known as Mahbubia College. One may ask, where is Mahbub College and what about Keys High School? Mahbub College and Keys High School were started by the Tamil people. Tamil people are very clever, so they went to Nizam the 7th, Mir Usman Ali Khan, and they said, we want to start a school in memory of your father. So there was no option but to give permission. That's how the Mahbub College has come. Mir Mahbub Ali Pasha Khan is the Nizam the 6th, Usman Ali Khan is the 7th. So there was no way he could refuse. Similarly, they named a girls' school after a British officer who was actually the head of the cantonment of Secunderabad. Secunderabad cantonment has the British army. Her name was Keys. That's how the Keys High School has come near Secunderabad bus stand. How difficult it was to start a school in a native language. You cannot perhaps imagine. This generation can never imagine. There was an advocate called Keshavrao Koratkar. This Keshavrao Koratkar wanted to establish a Hindi medium school. He had petitioned to Nizam for about 20 times, and every time it was rejected because he wanted to establish a Hindi medium school. Finally, there was a lot of force on Nizam. Since Keshavrao Koratkar ji was a High Court judge, Nizam could not refuse, and he said, I will give you land, permission, but you have to establish this school in an area called Chikkarpalli. What is the meaning of Chikkad in Marathi? Urada, marshy land. That was the place where tigers used to roam during the daytime. He gave permission to establish a school in that area, which is known as Chikkarpalli. Tigers used to roam during the day. You know how the Hindu boys and girls used to come to this school? A huge team of drummers and people holding, torches, mashals. And they used to hold mashals and play drums in the beginning and at the end of the procession of the students. And on the sides there used to be able-bodied men with barchas in hand. That's how people used to come from Sultan Bazar, Nampalli and then Kachiguda and other places to this place during the daytime. And the job of these people was to wait till the school is over and take them back in the same procession. Beating of the drums, holding of the mashals and then, showing of the barchas and other weapons. This was how Hindi medium survived in Hyderabad. This story needs to be told. Our literary festival, Golconda Literary Festival, is being held at a place where the people fought for their mother tongue, braved death. They walked straight into the mouth of the death and then they pursued their studies. So these histories need to be told. The stories of the atrocities of Radhakars need to be told. And this is the anthem of Nizam. I just want to compare it with the anthem of Mysore Maharaja. The Mysore Maharaja's anthem used to be Kayo Sri Gauri Karuna Lahari Toyajakshi Shankarishwari Vaimanika Bhamarchita Komala Karapade Srimanpita Bhumaspade Kamita Phalade Shumbhadima Dambhoniti Kumbhata Nibhadevi Jambhavita Sambhavita Shambhavi Shubhavi. Till here, it is the praise of the goddess, deity, Ma Durga. Then in the last sentence, Sri Jaya Chamundika Sri Jaya Chamendra Namankita Bhumindra Lalamana Mudade. In the last sentence, there is the mention of the king Jayachamaraja Vadaya. This sentence gets changed whenever the king changes, even now. Listen to the anthem of the Nizam, the second. ता आबाद खाली के आलम ये रियासत रखे तुझको उस्मान बसद इजलात सलामत रखे जैसे तू फख्र सलातीन है for the believers you are the grace of the believers सलातीन है बा फजल याज़दान till eternity. They saying that he is going to be the pride of the sultanate till eternity. And then they say यूं ही मुमताज तेरा खाना ए दौलत रखे जोड़े हातिम रहे शर्मिंदा ए ahsan तेरा. He is saying Hatim Thai, one of the greatest donor in this world, philanthropist in the world, will feel ashamed of standing before you. Look at the kind of eulogizing that is going on. And Adil Khusro ko khadal तेरी अदालत रखे कांदादान सूरत गुरु तेरे खैर ख्वा रहे आके कदमों पे अदो फख्र इता हक रखे बन के साकी तेरे इकबाल निजाम साबी तुझको साहिबा हुआ साहिबास. People who lived with the Paigambar are known as sahibas. The Umar, Usman, Ali, these are. He says that तुझको साहिबा काशे तुम खाना इशरत रखे. Total, complete, praise of Nizam, unnecessary eulogizing. Compare it with the Mysore Maharaja. He was a Maharaja. He was the first in this country, Mysore Maharaja, to promote women's education. There is no history about him. He was the first one to give away his kingdom and join the Indian Union without demanding anything in return. And this Nizam, we are eulogizing and we are saying that he is actually the savior of Telangana, which is a travesty of truth. We need to fight against this, we need to fight against this misinformation, and books like this will go a long way in telling us the truth. This book contains graphic details about the atrocities that Razakars have performed in these places. There is a mention of a village by name Panjagutta. There is a mention of a village by name Panjagutta. And Panjagutta, I have to come to this place crossing Panjagutta. Today Panjagutta is part of Hyderabad city. So these places were also not safe. So I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and I request you to, as Sai Prasad Garu has said, to talk to these people belonging to the older generations and try to get the information about the atrocities of Razakar. Incidentally, today is the 99th birthday of a freedom fighter called Basava Manaya. It is being celebrated in Jogipet. He was the first MLA of Jogipet. Today nobody knows about him. Nobody even knows about him. There used to be an organization called Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh, run by a person called Vavilala Veerabhadrarao. Vavilala Veerabhadrarao went to Nagpur, underwent the training of RSS, he came back here and started Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh because it was outlawed, it was banned by the Nizam government. Still he used to organize for the defense of the people. In a way, this is the forerunner of RSS in this part of the country. And one of the very senior pracharaks who is no more, Sri Vadlamudi Ramohan Rao, told me, where was Param Pujanya Guruji on 14th August 1947? He said Guruji was in Nizamabad meeting the people of the Hindu community and trying to instill confidence in them. I have no way of proving this, but then I heard it from someone whom I trust. Param Pujanya Guruji was in Nizamabad on 15th August 1947. This history is obliterated. There is a statue of Pandit Narendra Ji in front of the Andhra Bank in Koti. Pandit Narendra Ji came all the way from Uttar Pradesh and reconverted thousands of Hindus. That is the reason why you find lot of Narendras in Telangana. Lot of Telanganite people have this name Narendra because it is out of gratitude for Pandit Narendra Ji that they have named their children after Pandit Narendra. His statue is there right in front of the Andhra Bank in Koti. At least once in a year on his birth anniversary, we should garner this photograph. Thank you so much. I would go on and on if I get an opportunity on history of Hyderabad. I commend the Sambit Prakashan for bringing out this book, and I hope that this will not be a trickle. I want this to be a deluge. Thank you so much.